All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everybody, this is Simon Klein speaking. I hope you all can hear me loud and clear. Please type a 1 in the room if you can hear me loud and clear, and you can see my screen over here. Just doing a quick sound check. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Ahmed. Okay, we're going to start in a few minutes. We're just going to give a few minutes for latecomers to join. Thank you very much. Hi, Roberto. Thanks, Jayesh Kumar. Hope I pronounced your name correctly. You guys are going to be in for a special treat this evening. We're going to uncover some of the things you need to know about trading, and we're also going to take a look at a very special platform for trading binary options that you probably never seen before. So we're going to start in probably about 2 minutes time. So while we're waiting for all the latecomers to join in, I'm just going to ask you all where you guys are from. I know there's people logging in from all over the world here, so hi Roberto from Mexico. Hi Michael from Israel, Phil from the UK, Majdi from Egypt, I hope again I pronounced your name correctly. Hi Jayesh Kumar from Fort Songa in India. Hi Michael. Hi Ahmed from United Arab Emirates. Hi. Wow, we have people from all over the place here. That's wonderful. Good international crowd. Okay, we'll give it 1 more minute and then we're going to begin. We've got a lot to cover tonight and some very, very important information that you may not know about trading and about the binary options world as well. So I hope you all learned something valuable in this webinar and go away understanding the world of trading much more than you do now. A few more questions before we begin. How many years have you all been trading for? Just type the number and type new if you're new completely, or the number of years after that. So please feel free, type in the room. Okay, we've got some new traders here, Michael and Daniel. Come on guys. 3 years, that's great. Magdi, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Okay, 1.5 years, that's great. Who's trading full-time here? Great, great, great. Okay, another question. What instruments do you guys trade? You trade Forex, options, futures, equities? Which markets do you trade? Okay, the Forex market. Anyone else? CFDs, options, Forex options. That's great. Okay, let me ask a question now and feel free to be honest. Who here is a consistently profitable trader? Type a 1 in the room right now if you're a consistently profitable trader. So that's okay. Anyone? That's great. Almost there. Wonderful. I like that, Michael. Okay. Type a yes in the room if you want to know what you need to do to become a consistently profitable trader. A lot of yeses coming in there. You want to know. You're in the right place. Okay, so what we're going to do now this afternoon or this evening, depending what time zone you're in, we're going to go through the fastest way to consistent trading profits. This is the information and knowledge that I wish I knew before I started. And those of you who are new here, you're in a very lucky position because you're going to know exactly what you need to do to become a consistent profitable trader. So let's begin. So before we start, any lawyers out there? So you have to all bear in mind that any comments I make by TradeSmart are for only educational purposes, and they should not be construed as investment advice regarding the purchase and sale of securities, options, futures, forex, or any other financial instrument. Please consult with your investment advisor before making any investment decisions regarding any financial instruments mentioned herein, and TradeSmart assumes no responsibility for your trading and investment results. And as you all know, there is a high degree of risk involved in any type of trading, and that options, futures, forex trading is not suitable for everyone. And the past results I may show you here are not indicative of any future returns, and that TradeSmart assumes no responsibility for your trading and investment results. And TradeSmart, myself, Simon Klein, does not endorse any of the sponsoring company's products and services and or the outcome of their advice. Now we've got that out of the way, let's begin. A little bit about me. My name is Simon Klein, as you know. I am the CEO of TradesmartForex.com. I'm a professional trader of around 11 years. I'm a trading coach. I train people with little or no experience to advanced experience and help people on their way to become, on their journey to become a consistently profitable trader, professional trader. I'm an author. I write financial articles about the markets online. You can look at my website for more information about that, or just go into Google and have a search. I'm a market analyst. I provide market analysis for brokers and other professional traders. I started my academic life with a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science from University College London, graduating in 1996. My first job out of university was for Credit Suisse in both London, and then I was moved to New York for a while. I began my professional trading career as an equity trader at Generic Trading in Philadelphia, and that was in 2005. After passing the Series 7 exam, because we were trading company capital or public funds, I had to take the Series 7, that's FINRA, the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority of America. And my first account I traded was a $500,000 account, and that was way back in 2005. So just a little bit about binary options exchange. Tonight's webinar is sponsored by a company called TradEqual. And TradEqual offers something quite new to the world of binary options. It's actually a binary options exchange, and we're going to go into a little more detail as we go through this webinar so you understand what it actually is. Generally, you can actually, generally when you go into most binary options brokers, they only really give you one option. You can only buy options. So who is actually selling you those options? It's the broker. The broker's on the other side of those options. And there's two different type of options that you can actually buy. If you think the market's going to go down, then you can buy a put option. Yeah. And if you think the market's going to go up, then you can buy a call option. We're going to go into a little more detail about options in a few minutes. But just to show you, that's usually what's available when you trade binary options in a regular binary options broker. You usually buy a put or a call. Call if you think the price is going to be higher at the expiry time than the price that you bought it at, or lower, then you buy a put option. If at the expiry time, could be half an hour, could be an hour, could be a few hours, depending on what the expiry time is. If you believe the price is going to go up, then buy a call option. If you believe it's going to go down, then you buy a put option. What you can do with the binary option exchange is something else. You can actually write options as well. Now this is the exact reverse. Imagine if you're buying an option, for example a call option, you believe the market's going to go up. So if you write a call option, it's the exact opposite. So if you write a put option, you believe the market is going to go which way? You guys want to type in the room? Which way? If you write a put, it's the opposite of buying a put. So if you buy a put, you believe the price is going to go down. So if you write a put, you believe the price is going to go higher. Correct. That's right, guys. And on the other side of that, if you write a call, it's the opposite of buying a call. Buying a call means you think the price is going to go higher. So if you write a call, you're on the other side. You're the one that sold that option. So you believe the price is going to go lower. One thing you need to know about binary options is they have an expiry time. That could be on some platforms even 60 seconds. I just heard recently they're even providing 30-second options. So they're pretty quick. So you can literally put your trade in and within 30 seconds or 60 seconds the trade is finished. The advantage of binary options is if we're looking at risk, you always know what your risk is ahead of time. You know what you stand to lose if the trade doesn't go in your favor. Compare that with the Forex market or whatever the underlying market of the options are, maybe some CFDs. Sometimes the risk is more than what you're willing to risk on the trade because there's something that can happen called slippage. What that means is if you put a stop order in, a protective stop, say you bought at 10 and your protective stop was at 8 and the market went down to 8, what it does usually is trigger a market order. It says get me out, sell me at the best price. But if the market, before it's actually filled your market order, a stop market order has moved down, say to 6, you'll get filled at 6. It means get me out at the best price, but the market moves, that's slippage. So sometimes you can end up losing more than what you wanted to on a trade. That's called slippage, and that happens in the Forex market. The binary options market, there's no slippage. You know what your risk is. That's one big advantage of the binary options market, and especially the binary options exchange, which gives you the ability to write options as well. I believe this is the only platform in the industry that provides this ability. One thing that you also need to look at when you're actually trading is you need to always know what your reward is on every trade. You need to know what you're risking and what your potential reward is. The general binary options world quotes it in terms of percentage return. So for example, if you were to put down $100 on the trade, whatever it may be, your return could be, say, 80%. What that means in real terms of risk to reward, it means you're risking $100 to make $80. Okay? Okay, yes, your return is 80% because 80% of 100 is $80. But on the flip side of it, you have to also look at your risk, which is actually $100. So if you look at on the buy side of the options, imagine if the odds were 50-50. Yeah, you need to be able to have a higher odds than 50-50 to actually be profitable over time trading on the buy side of the options. Okay? So what we're going to do now is take a quick look at the TradEqual platform. Let me just ask a question. Who out there in this webinar, who of you have traded or looked into binary options before and know what they are? Well, let me ask the question the other way around. Who absolutely knows nothing about binary options? Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pull up the platform. Just give me a second. I'll pull it over. So you can see the TradEqual. This is my live account. It's a live account, not a demo account. and this is what's got $59.41. I actually took 2 trades yesterday, one winning trade and one losing trade. I started with a losing trade at risking $15, so I lost $15. Interesting to note, there's no commission to pay if you're on the losing side of the trade with this platform. The next trade I took, the first trade was I actually bought an option, and the second trade I actually wrote an option, but it didn't get completely filled. Okay, so, and that was a winning trade, but notice I actually made $15 on the trade minus the commission that you had to pay from the winning side of it over here. So you can see it's not exactly 60. There's 59 cents in commissions. So let's just take a look quickly at the platform. Over here you can see all the assets that you can actually trade. You can actually cycle down. You can see all the different things that are available to trade. If you want to look at them in the groups, you can actually trade binary options on these stocks, on Apple, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and these ones are not quite available yet. You can look at commodities if you like, gold and oil. They're not available quite yet. And we have currency options, maybe to do with the time of day. Okay, but you can still trade these currency options, and you can trade on indices. You can trade options on the Dow Jones if you think the market is going to go higher or lower. Notice you've got I think this is the payout percentages on both sides, on the call side and the put side. Now, one thing to show you over here, you can see there's 2 options available for binary options. You can actually buy binary options, and you can write binary options, like sell them into the marketplace. You can write your own options with your own payout and write down what you risk. So let's look at the buy side, for example. Now, you can type in, for example, if you think the price is going to go higher, then you buy a call option. Say, for example, the minimum investment over here is $15. So say we pick on the call side. So you can see, if you look, this is the time remaining to place the order, and over here is the actual expiry time of the option, which is on my platform over here. I'm in GMT plus 2 or 3 actually, is 10:25 in the evening, 22:25. So we see we actually have quite a bit more time on the option, but we only have another 32 minutes in order to place the trade. With a $15 risk, you can actually see the order book down here, which is very different. It's looking at almost like a level 2 if you're trading stocks. You can see the market depth. You can see that there's options that are paying out up to $46. So this $15, there's still $46 left to pay out, if you're right, 86.5%. If you put $100 in, for example, then $46 will be at this payout, and the rest of it will be at this payout. So you'd get an average of the two. Interesting to know. Now let's take a look at the other side of the platform. That's if you're buying an option. If you think it's going up, you buy a call. If you think it's going to go down, you buy a put. If you think the price is going to be lower at 10:25 in the evening, you can make up to 84% return on your money. Now let's take a look at the writing side of the platform. So here you can see, for example, if we think the price is going to go down, we'll write a call. Okay, and we can actually decide how much money we're going to risk. Say, for example, we're going to risk $50. So we can see the profit here is over 100%. Okay, so you can actually have a reward to risk here more than, you can be rewarded more than your risk. Your payout can be more than what you actually risked on the trade. Okay, and you can see the different options over here in the order book. The highest payout at the moment is 86.5%. So if you were to write an option and put it, say, at 83%, you might not get filled. But if you are a little bit more aggressive and you wanted your option to be filled, someone to buy it, then you could actually place it at, say, 88%, and then maybe you'd get filled. Okay, this is just a little bit about the platform. I know it's it's quite a lot to go through if you're seeing binary options for the first time. But just to let you know, we're going to be giving probably a 3-part webinar series soon that will take you through actually trading live on this platform and actually understanding the world of binary options and the binary options exchange, how to actually write your own options and trade them on the writing side, on the sell side, and on the buy side. Here you can see a chart of the euro dollar. You can see the current price. And if you want, you can actually, there's a charting package. You can click on here, and one second, here, and it's brought it off my other screen. And you can actually see the actual charting package. Okay, so you can actually start, if you want to have a look at it in different views, you can do it like that. And you can put various studies on the charts if you want. Okay, so let me close this down. And another important thing that you should notice here is there's actually a chat room. So you can actually chat with other traders these are live traders who are actually trading at the same time. So there's a live chat room here. And if you want support, you can type your questions in here and someone will get back to you if you need help understanding anything. And what I want to do is just try and show you the trades I actually did yesterday so you can actually see. So if we go into my account, and I think we can actually, I don't know what's going on here, I think you should be able to see previous trades over here. Account summary. So if we look over here, say from, I took the trades yesterday, so from the 18th, you can see these are the 2 trades I actually told you about yesterday. So you see the first trade was actually buying a put option and it didn't work. So I lost my $15, no more, $15 risk. But the next trade you see I wrote a call option, and this one actually paid out 105.26%. But so I made a profit of $15 on that, but since it had a commission to pay, that's why it didn't get back to original $60 that was in the account. So just to show you, this is what it looks like in the platform. Okay, so that's enough about the platform for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to carry on and go through what it takes to become a successful trader. We're going to go over goals, defining your edge, trading framework, the framework that needs to go into place, the trading process. We're going to look into how we can actually help you on your journey to become a successful trader, and then we'll open up for audience questions and answers. So we've got a lot to get through. But first things first, you should know trading is a business. So you have to treat it like a business. And I like this quote, hobbies cost money, businesses make money. So you must approach your trading like a business. Imagine starting any business and going to the bank for a loan and they say to you, well, what do you plan to do? And you go, well, I'm not sure. So what's your business? I don't know. When do you plan to pay back the loan? I don't know. Are they going to give you the money? Probably not. If you go there with a business plan, then they'll be willing to speak to you and maybe offer you the money. They can see what you're planning to do. So remember, like in any business, if you fail to plan, as the saying goes, then you plan to fail. So you must treat trading like a business. It's first things first. Any business, you must have goals. So you must ask yourself the question. Let me ask you the question. Why do you want to trade? Let me ask the question out to you guys. Why do you want to trade? Please type in the chat box or the questions area. Why do you want to trade? To make money. That's great. I like that one. Understand the market and make profit. Wonderful. That's the first step, to understand the market, to make money. Right, I'm going to carry on, and you'll see that making money is not a good enough reason. There's many different things you can do to make money. There's many jobs you can do to make money. There must be a better reason than that to trade. You can do many other things to make money, but why trading? And I'll tell you one interesting thing. If you focused on making money while you're trading, an interesting thing happens. You generally lose. Very interesting phenomenon. You can ask any trader out there. If your focus is on money, you generally lose. If your focus is on becoming a good trader and not on the money, you generally do okay. If you have all the other things that you need to do in place. Yes, that's great, Konika. I agree. Yes, it is a great career and it does allow you to profit in good times and bad. You can profit no matter where you are in the world, no matter what the economy is doing, once you know what you're doing. So, very important, you need to be able to give a big picture reason of why you want to trade. There must be something bigger than just making money. Maybe it's to give you the freedom and the lifestyle that you want. Maybe because you enjoy the challenge and you want to do something that's challenging. So the question you need to ask yourself is, do you really know why you want to trade? And why that is so important? Because in the development process as a trader, you're mostly not making money. Most developing traders are not making money. So if your main reason is to make money, you might get disheartened and drop out. But realize that that's just the development process. Once you know that you might go for 6 months, a year without actually making any money, then it's, then you can, if you've got a bigger picture reason, like you're looking for the lifestyle that trading can give you, not to have a boss. I left the working world in the employed working world in 2000 and I haven't looked back since. So if you want to be your own boss, that sort of thing, and again, there's pros and cons. You have to know yourself and what's best for you. Some people can't be by themselves and be independent. They need to have, a regular job and know what income's coming in every month. So basically, to make money is not a good enough reason for trading because, as we said before, there's other things you can do to make money. You have to know why exactly trading. So once you know that, you have a bigger goal, that will keep you, once you have a goal in mind when you're trading, you have the where you're heading to, then if you veer off and you go off course, if you have in mind where you need to get to, you can always get yourself back on track. Without goals, if you veer off course, how do you know where you need to get back to? You don't know where you're going. So you need to know where you're going in order to get there. And that you must know before you start out on the journey. You must know where the journey is going. So that's why trading goals are very important. First of all, you need to know why you're trading. And secondly, you need to know what are your trading goals. You need to break up your goals into milestones, into things that need to be achieved on the way to becoming a successful trader. If you do not set yourself milestones and your main goal is to become a successful trader and you expect to do that from day one, you're going to be disappointed most likely. You need to know this, you need to break it down into small manageable steps on the way. Why is that important? Because that will give you focus and direction. And once you have focus and direction and you achieve different milestones on the way, that will give you satisfaction when you achieve them. And once you get the satisfaction of achieving the little goals on the way to your final goal, then that provides you a positive trading experience. If you do not have a positive trading experience, you're not going to enjoy what you're doing. And if you don't enjoy what you're doing, and the process that you're going through is not making you money at the moment, and that's your goal, so to say, then you're going to wonder, why am I doing this? So you need to break down the main big goal of becoming a consistently profitable trader into smaller bite-sized goals that you can tick off as you achieve them and feel good that you're at least going in the right direction to your final main goal. So you need to ask yourself the question, what are your trading goals? For example, you might have goals like to acquire expertise in reading the market. That's a great first goal, because without being able to read the market, if you're a technical trader, how on earth are you meant to know when the odds are in your favor in the market, when you should be getting into a trade and when you should be getting out of a trade, and where your stop should go, your protective stop? That means when you're in a trade, you should usually put a stop in a place in the market where if it hits that stop, it means you were wrong. It means a trade is not valid anymore. Where if you don't know how to read the charts and the market, how on earth are you going to know how to build a strategy, for example, that puts the odds in your favor? So you should always set challenging and feasible goals, goals that are according to your level of mastery. So setting a goal to be an immediate goal to be a consistently profitable trader and make a living out of trading from day one is not feasible. It's the goal, the main goal that you're focusing on, but it takes a number of steps before you get there. So you really need to set realistic goals that will give you a sense of accomplishment and progress, a sense of momentum that you're moving forward in the right direction. So even during that process, even if you're not making money, but you know, say this week you made one less mistake or two less mistakes or 50% less mistakes than you made the previous week, you know you're moving in the right direction. Say, for example, one of your problems as a trader once you do that is you can't seem to do trades that are in your trading plan. Again, do you have a trading plan? So what you need to do is set goals and achieve them one at a time. Just 1 second, I think maybe I slipped this. Okay, we're good. So the question you need to ask yourself is, how committed are you to becoming a successful trader? Are you going to invest in an education and training? There's a difference between education and training. Education is learning what you need to do, and training is actually doing it with someone like a trading coach guiding you. Like someone, a professional tennis player or swimmer, they have coaches. They're very good at what they do, but they have coaches to help them improve all the time. You need to learn what to do. You need some classroom time as well, but you need to, again, you need to put it into practice. Learning how to drive a car will not be achieved until you get behind the wheel and start driving. You can't learn to drive a car in theory. You have to actually do it, and you need someone sitting next to you and watching what you're doing to help you do it. Will you work on yourself? I always tell people when they first start to learn how to trade that you're going to discover a lot about yourself, and it requires you to work on yourself. And they're like, no, what are you talking about? They don't believe what I'm talking about. But yes, to become a successful trader, you have to become a master of yourself. Will you learn from your mistakes and failures? If you keep committing the same mistakes again and again, and you can't get yourself to stop doing that, you're not going to be able to move forward. Firstly, you need to identify what you're doing wrong, and then you have to understand what's causing you to do that and fix it at the root. Knowing what you're doing wrong is the first step, but why and working on yourself. For example, you keep getting out of trades before they hit their stop if they go against you, to watch them turn around when you're not in the trade anymore and go to your target, and watching on the sidelines. Let me ask you a question, guys. You guys that trade, has that ever happened to you? Type a yes in the room if that's happened to you before. You were in a trade, you put a stop in place, and it started going against you. And yes, the other side of that too, you start booking profits early. Yeah, well said. You get out of the trade when you've got a bit of profit. You don't let it run, which is the opposite of what you need to do. You want to keep your losses small, and you want to get your profits to be bigger than those. So the question is, will you do whatever it takes to become a successful trader? So what you need to do is define your edge. What is an edge? So an edge is an advantage you have over others. You have to know what your edge is in trading. You have to know what it is. You have to know why you should be profitable over time as a trader. What is it you're doing that puts the odds in your favor over time? So you need to ask yourself a question. What exactly is a technical edge in the market? What is my technical edge? What is your technical edge? What does it mean to have a technical edge in the market? It means recognizing when the odds are in your favor in the market. You do not trade until the market shows you your edge. You let the market come to you on your conditions. If you trade the market on its conditions, you won't win in the long run. You have to make yourself like a casino that wins over time, not every single time. The casino does pay out money, but over the long haul, they make money. So that's the same for you as a trader. You will not win on every single trade. You will have losing trades. But will you come out on top on average over the long run? That's what you need to look at. One trade by itself is meaningless. So if you're buying, for example, you have to ask yourself a question: who's on the other side of your trade? If you're buying, someone sold to you, they think the market may be going down, you think the market's going up. If you can't answer that question, maybe you're the novice trader. You want to do something that gives you an edge and make sure that some novice trader is on the other side of your trade. So I asked you a question. For all those who are trading, do you know what your edge is? Type a yes in the room if you know exactly what your edge is when you're going to trade in the market. That's great. Okay, that's good. So here's an interesting thing. If you cannot clearly explain what your edge is, then you don't have one. You have to be able to say exactly what you're doing and why it gives you an advantage over anyone else. And guess what? This is a tough one for most people. If you don't have an edge, don't trade. If you don't know what your edge is, don't trade. If you don't know how to read the market, don't trade. You have to know what your edge is before you trade. Once you have an edge, very important thing, you have to test it. You have to prove that it gives you something called a positive expectancy. What does that mean? That means over a large enough number of trials, a number of trades, from a statistical, mathematical perspective, you will make money. For example, say you're flicking a coin and it's weighted 50-50, heads and tails. And if you would make $200 on tails but lose $100 on heads, that would be a system with a positive expectancy. Because if you took two trades, 50-50, and it could be 50 trades and 50 trades, you don't know how they're going to turn out. It could come out head, 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 tail, tail, head, tail, head, tail. It's not going to be head, tail all the time. You don't know, but over a large enough number of throws of that coin, it will be 50% heads and 50% tails. So if we just look at two throws of a coin, if you get one head and one tail, so you'd lose $100 on the head and gain $200 on the tail. That means on average over those two throws, you've made $100. Divide that by the 2 times you threw it, the 2 trials, the 2 trades, you get $50. That is what your expectancy is. It's $50 per trade. You have to make sure that when you're trading, whatever you're trading, it has a positive expectancy. If it does not, you will not make money over time. You might make money over a number of trades, for example, if you actually start trading it on a winning streak, but in the long haul, the system is not proven mathematically to make you money. Once you have an edge and a positive expectancy, the next question you need to ask yourself is, can you successfully trade whatever your edge is? There are many people out there in the world that are selling you their strategies. But guess what? It's not one size fits all. That might fit them and their personality, but it doesn't fit you and your personality. It's a bit like you have a friend who's a few sizes bigger than you, suit sizes, and he says, well, this suit's great. It works for me. Here, I'll give it to you. You do it. Doesn't fit you. You have to adjust it to make it fit you. You cannot trade someone else's system, someone else's strategy. I'm going to repeat that. You cannot trade someone else's system and someone else's strategy unless you make it your own first. Very important. Once it's your own, it's your strategy. You own it. You know it intimately. You know that you can do it. I'll give you another example of this. You go to a dietitian and there's certain food items you just can't bear to eat. And the dietitian says, you know, you're dangerously overweight. You need to go on this diet immediately. Otherwise, it's going to have it's not going to be good for your health. You must go on this diet. And they give you a diet and you just can't do it. You just can't do it. That's not a discipline problem. It's a personality problem. It's a taste problem. You just can't do it. It doesn't fit you. It works for someone else because they like the food items. So what you need to do is go back to the dietitian and say, I don't like this and this. Can you swap it for something else that's more fitting to my personality, to what I like to eat? And they'll most of the time say, yes, let's change this food item for this one, and the results are the same. So this is exactly what you need to do. And that is why there's so many people out there selling you, unbelievable, for $97, yeah, a strategy. But guess what? It won't fit you. And you might hear them saying the strategy is right 99% of the time. Yeah, it works 99% of the time, but that's not enough information. Because say if it made you $1 99% of the time, and on the 100th time it lost you $100, that is a negative expectancy. So say, oh, we have this wonderful strategy. It's right 99% of the time. Great. But it won't make you money over the long haul. It has a negative expectancy. So knowing the percentage right is not enough. You need to know what your average winner to average loser is. You can be wrong most of the time and still make money. I have a trader I recently trained, and he's wrong most of the time. More than 50% of the time he's wrong, but he makes money around 2% a week at the moment. Trading half an hour a day. And he's not even watching. He sets his trades before in the evening, and he goes the next evening, he watches half an hour, sets his trades, and the next evening goes and looks and see if his trades were hit. And that's what he does. It fits his lifestyle, fits his personality, and that's what works for him. So what's the framework that needs to go into place to become a successful trader? These are things that are not taught in many places. But here you're going to have an insight into what the framework that needs to go into place in order to become a successful trader. So let's start out. First things first, you need to have a trading plan. As we talked about earlier on, you need to have a plan that tells you exactly, like a business plan, what are you doing when you sit down in the market and trade? What are you meant to be doing? If you don't have a plan, you don't know what you're meant to be doing. Part of that trading plan will have money management rules. How much money do you risk on a trade, for example? How much money can be on the line in any one go? What do you do after a number of winning trades? What do you do after a losing streak? What do you do when you're down a certain amount in your overall equity in your account? When you have a drawdown of 10%, what do you do? You need to look at things like risk management. How do you manage your risk? What do you do when you're up a certain percentage in your account? Do you lock in profits and let the rest run? What do you do? And you need to obviously have trading strategies, or at least one trading strategy which spells out exactly what you need to do and what the situation is in the marketplace. When the market shows you this A, B, and C, you do D, E, and F. That's what a trading strategy is. It tells you exactly what you should be doing in certain scenarios in the marketplace. Having a trading plan by itself is not enough. You need to actually log your trades. You have to know, what every single trade that you did. Without logging your trades, you've got no idea, for example, what's working for you and what's not. I'll give you an example. I have someone I traded a number of years ago, and he traded the London Open in the Forex market, and then he traded the US session. In the London session, he generally lost money because we had a trading log. We could actually see which session he took the trade in and what his overall profitability was. And then he was profitable in the US session. So he said to me, I'm coming out kind of break even. I'm not making anything. I'm losing money in London and making in New York. He said to me, is it okay if I don't trade the London session? I said, do you want to make money? He said, yeah. So how about working half the time and being profitable? If you just eliminate all those losing trades or the overall losing London session, and you just remain with the New York session that's profitable for you and working for you, you're automatically profitable. That's good. Without having a trading log, you've got no idea what you should be doing, how you can adjust yourself. Maybe certain times of day are no good for you. Maybe certain currency pairs are no good for you. Maybe certain equities, certain stocks just don't work for you. Maybe certain times of day or certain months of the year are just not winning months for you. Once you have that information, for example, if you find that February over the past 10 years is not a good month for you, or maybe July, let's take July for an example. It's a nice example, actually. Say July, 8 out of 10 years, 80% of the time is not profitable. You actually lose. So why not take what your average losses are over that month and go on holiday? Instead of losing it to the market, spend it on yourself. That's a nice thing to do once you have that information. Without a trading log, you've got no idea. And another very important thing that needs to be in place in that structure, you need to have a trading journal. The trading journal is a log of you as a trader. You need to know why you're doing certain things in the marketplace. If you make a mistake, like we mentioned before, and you don't know what's causing that mistake, it's hard to fix it. You keep getting out of your trades too soon. Why are you doing that? So if you log what you're doing and why you're doing it and what's going through your mind and how you're feeling about what you're doing, what's happening with your emotions when you hit that button and you're in the trade and it starts going against you, or it starts getting closer to your target. What happens when it gets to your target and you think, I'm going to get more out, I'm going to make more money in this, I'm going to just get rid of the target now, forget it, it's going to go much more, I'm going to make double on it. And you move your target out of the way, you get greedy and you move it up double the distance. And then what happens is the market takes a turn to the downside and the market moves so quickly, hits your stop, and you're out for a loss where you should have actually made on the trade, say you risked $100, you should have made $300 on the trade, but you wanted $6 and you ended up with losing $100. You have to know why you did that. So that's what a trading journal logs. It logs you as a trader so you know what you need to do and how you can improve going forward. That's the trading framework that needs to go into place. So what's the process that you go through? You need to have routines that you need to go through to get yourself prepared. You need to prepare yourself to trade. You need to ask yourself a question, am I ready to trade? Is the market ready for me? Is the market showing me what I should do? Two things need to be in place before you take a trade. You need to be ready, and the market needs to show you your edge. If neither of them are in place, don't trade. You need to have patience to wait for the market to show you exactly what you need to see. You need to have discipline to follow your trading plan, your rules. If you can't follow them, it's as if you don't have them. And if you can't follow your rules, changing your rules will not make you a better trader, because you can't follow the rules you have unless they don't fit your personality and you need to change them completely to something that you can follow. You need to look at into your psychology and your emotions to make sure that they're not detrimental to your trading performance. I believe that if you really know and prepared and know what you need to do, then your psychology and emotions will not overrule what you should be doing. And you'll do the right thing if you follow your trading plan and you believe in what you're doing and you know you have a positive expectancy. Why wouldn't you do it? It's because you don't believe in it that may cause all the emotional problems. Or maybe you don't stick to your money management rules and you put too much risk on the trade, and that will likely give you an emotional roller coaster ride. If it's what you're comfortable risking on a trade and you accepted it beforehand, then why should you get emotional about it? You've accepted the risk already. It's like buying a lottery ticket and trying to get what you paid for the lottery ticket back. You've paid for it already. It's done. When you take a trade, you could look at the risk that you risked on the trade. It's done. I paid for the trade. Now trade. And you also need some way of measuring your progress. You need to know if you're moving in the right direction. And if you're not moving in the right direction, you need to know why and how to get back on track. Remember, to your goal, your end goal, to become a consistently profitable trader. So here's an example of a trading process. This is what you may do on a day-to-day basis. You prepare yourself to trade, analyze the markets you trade with a view to finding trading opportunities, wait for the market to show you your opportunity in your trading plan, take the trade, maybe take a picture of your entry, write an entry in your trading journal, then manage the trade according to your trading plan, then take a picture to see what happened afterwards when the trade's finished, and then what happened next. Enter the trade in your trading log, then write an entry in your trading journal. That's an example of a trade. So how can we help you going forward? How can we help you on your journey to become a successful trader? So just to tell you what we have available to you, we offer the following education and training. We have a flagship training course of Learn How to Trade Professionally, which is basically takes you from knowing nothing to knowing what a professional trader needs to know, from learning how to read the market to actually learning the process and the framework that we just went through now, putting it into place and actually doing it for real, developing a trading plan that fits you and your personality, helping you test it and prove to yourself that it works and works for you, and doing it. If you just want to learn how to read the markets professionally, then you can just focus on that. Knowing how to read the markets is a very valuable tool to have. If you're just interested in swing trading, then we can go through swing trading, but that assumes you already know how to read the market. And if you're interested in day trading, we have courses primarily focused on day trading. We also offer coaching services. We can help you to become a successful trader wherever you happen to be on your development. We can help you develop your own trading plan if you sit down and you know, I need to write a plan, but you've got no idea where to begin. It can be quite daunting sometimes, but if you want someone who's had experience to help you develop a plan that fits you and your personality, we can do that for you. We can help you develop your own strategies that fit your own personality. We can help go over your trades and see what's working for you. We can trade live together as well and see how you're performing in the real market in real time. We can help you overcome whatever obstacles you might have, and we can help you with every aspect of your trading, whether you're a complete beginner and you want to start in the right way, or you're a number of years in and you're not yet successful and you've got no idea what's holding you back. Here's a few examples of beginning traders. Here's a trader who started with a $1,000 account. This is the first month trading, around a 20% return. And you can see here the batting average is around 60% and the average win is almost 3-1. You can see even with the mistakes being made here, they tried to make money and lost. There you go. Trying to make money and lost. Didn't follow plan. What's going on there? So he had losing trades, but he's still profitable overall. Followed plan. Speculation, didn't follow plan, big loss. I wasn't going to lose that. Follow plan, was nervous, but hit target. You see how we can see, but still, even in spite of that, he's profitable. This is why I do this, and just to look at the end, I can honestly say that learning to trade with Simon has given me the confidence to attack the market like an experienced trader will not get eaten alive. Here's another example just to go through quickly. Here's a losing streak. But you see the end result, this trader's risking $100 per trade. At the end of the month, it's not so bad because his average winning trade is over 2.5 times his average losing trade. It would only take him one more winning trade to put himself positive. So you can see you can have losing streaks, but does it matter at the end? No. One more trade, you're positive. Just to show you, this is what can happen as well. And here's another example of a trader who started off with a small account of $1,000, and the first 5 months, he actually made $324 something, around about that, around a 30% return. The 6th month, he actually upped his account by $10,000, and he actually made gross, if you see here, $10,000 return. It's about 100% return on gross, but after commissions, around 60% return. But notice what he's done here. He actually withdrew his profits, very important. So this is what you can do as well. Tonight's webinar was sponsored by TradEqual. Just to let you know that TradEqual, binary options exchange, offers you personal training until you're able to trade independently. They're the only platform that on binary options that offer you the ability to write options or sell options like we went through. They offer some of the highest payouts in the industry. They have an open market trading model. What does that mean? There's no conflict of interest between the broker and you. The broker does not profit when you lose. He's not on the other. The broker's not on the other side of your trade. It's the only platform that offers a live traders chat room we saw before. You can get support from professional traders in real time. You can build relationships with other traders. There's a real trading community. There's a virtual, which is like a virtual trading pit. And as I mentioned before, to be arranged, we're going to have a live trading series at some point in the future, in the near future, which will take you through actually trading on the platform and understanding how to trade binary options in real time, in a real live market. Please type a yes in the room now if any of you guys are interested in some live training on this platform. Great. TradeSmart, myself, Simon Klein, would like to also thank you for attending this webinar. You can sign up for a free consultation on my website and here. If you have any questions, please email me, this email address. I have a YouTube channel. You can go and watch the videos. Please subscribe. You can like me on Facebook and follow what I'm doing. And you can subscribe to my mailing list. I don't send out many mails at all, so you're not going to get spammed by me in any way. But if you're interested in taking this further and you would like me to help you on your journey to become a successful trader, I'm here to help you do that. I'd like to open up the webinar now for any questions. Anyone have any questions? Please feel free to type in. We've got a few more minutes to answer any questions. Please type a yes in the room right now if you learned something of value during this webinar. You come out now with something that you didn't know beforehand. It was worth your time. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, Phil. That's an interesting question. How do you overcome fear? When you're confident and competent in what you're doing, you don't fear anymore. Imagine going to an exam when you're not ready for the exam. Scary, eh? You go and take an important exam and you haven't prepared yourself for it. You're quite nervous, but imagine walking into that same exam when you're prepared. You know exactly what you need to know. You're well prepared, you know what you should be doing, you know the answers to most of the questions. You don't have that fear anymore. You're going with confidence. That's what you need to do. You need to know what you're doing. You need to know the process. You need to do what a successful trader does. If you don't do that, it's like sitting behind the wheel of a car. If you don't know how to drive the car and you're sitting there and it's moving and you have to start driving, it's scary. Interesting question. How quickly will I become a successful or profitable trader? Everyone's different. I have some people that I've actually trained, which is interestingly enough, and they become successful right from the beginning. Literally straight out of the training, they're producing profits consistently, week in and week out. Not every trade, but every week, every month, so far. And some people may never get it. Not everyone can do what they need to do to become a successful trader. you have to know what you need to do, and you have to train with the right people that can help you become the trader that you need to become, to teach you the right things that you need to know. Learning a strategy alone is not enough. Now, interesting question here about binary options. So we're going for one more minute. I know the webinar's kind of up, but one more question we will ask, if that's okay with you guys. How does this cope with the common knowledge that in a binary trade, the house always wins? If you can get your back, remember there's two things in any trade. Okay, so anyone who wants to go, I really appreciate you your time, but I'll go on for another couple of minutes. That's okay. So if you have a system that's 50-50, for example, yeah, and you win for every winning trade, so to say, $80, but you lose for every losing trade $100, you cannot win in that system. So if it was 50-50, then you could not win. In binary options, if you're buying a put or a call, you cannot make more than what you risked on the trade. It doesn't happen. So the only way you can actually make money over time is to get your batting average, that means the number of winning trades, up to over a threshold. I think it's around 62%. If you get 62, say it's 7 out of 10 trades correct, you will actually make money, even if your average winning trade is, say, $80 and your average losing trade is, if you look at it in terms of reward to risk, is $100. That's how you do. That's how you can do it. So you can actually make money trading binary options if you have a batting average higher than, I think the threshold is around 62%. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for your time. I'm sorry we went over a minute. Appreciate. If you want any more information, feel free to be in touch. Send me an email. Visit my website. And I hope this was valuable to you. Thank you so much for your time. And I wish you all the best of luck with your development as a trader, and good luck with your trading, everyone. Thank you very much again.